where South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has declared a state of national disaster to tackle his country's electricity crisis, which has left at least about 60 million South Africans without access to regular electricity for several hours a day. And this, of course, has also disrupted the manufacturing industry and has hurt businesses of all sizes across South Africa. Now, during his annual State of the Nation address, President Cyril Ramaphosa added that there will be efforts which his government will resort to try and unlock additional funds and resources to speedily implement energy projects.
The National Disaster Management Center has consequently classified the energy crisis and its impact as a disaster. We are therefore declaring a national state of disaster to respond to the electricity crisis and its effect.
But Ramaphosa's address to the nation was also marred by some pretty interesting scenes that took place within the legislature, where the state of the address was delayed by opposition lawmakers. Armed security guards and the police had to quickly rush in and then force the members of parliament off the stage. They were also later escorted out of the parliament. They tried to block the president from delivering his address to the nation.
The members, the business is suspended for the next 10 minutes.
Now, several dozen demonstrators also tried to get onto the stage where President Cyril Ramaphosa was to make his annual speech. The demonstrators disrupted the ceremony and asked for the resignation of the South African president. Now, Ramaphosa, of course, continued his speech where he stated that the country is in the grip of a profound energy crisis.
We know that without a reliable supply of electricity, businesses cannot grow, assembly lines cannot run, crops cannot be irrigated, and basic services are interrupted.
Ramaphosa in his speech also announced solutions including the rollout of generators, solar energy and also uninterrupted power supply units for businesses in the food chain.
What will the state of disaster enable us to do? It will enable us to provide practical measures that we need to take to support businesses, a number of businesses, for instance, in food production, storage, retail supply chains, including for the rollout of generators and solar panels and uninterrupted power supply.
And also my colleague Kelton Ongmo has been tracking this story very closely for us. She's standing by in Johannesburg and is joining us live on this broadcast. Now, Kelton, this is a crucial moment for the people in South Africa where at this point of time, the South African president has said that he has announced a state of national disaster to address the chronic power cuts that South Africa is experiencing at this point of time. You know, give us a sense of how bad the power outage problem in South Africa actually is.
Yes, Salah, the fact that, I struggle to connect with the PCR in the newsroom shows how difficult it is, the load shedding in this country. Citizens are fed up. Electricity crisis is not a new thing in South Africa. It has been going on for decades. But for the last few years, the situation has just deteriorated, especially last year. Can you imagine, just in 2022 alone, there were more than 200 days of power cuts. And that goes up to stage 2, stage 3. It escalates up about stage 6. Stage 6 means 3 to 4 hours of power cuts in a day, up to 8 to 10 hours. So you can just imagine the situation in the country. This year has been the worst hit. I can't imagine a day. There hasn't been a day, actually, without a load shedding in 2023 alone. Citizens are fed up. You've seen in the past couple of days, we've done a ground reporting on how many demonstrations as well as protests that have taken place from civil societies, fed up citizens, even opposition parties now gunning for president saying Cyril Ramaphosa must step down because he is unable to handle this whole energy crisis in the country. The situation is so worse that, every sector of the economy is coming out saying they are suffering. You saw poultry sector coming out, agricultural sector coming out, small businesses and the new startups. So many new startups and small businesses has had to shut. Experts have said that load shedding is costing the economy at least, 1 billion rand a day. That is up to about 57 million US dollars a day. So you can just imagine the impact of load shedding in South Africa at this moment.
Absolutely indeed. And also we witnessed those pretty unfortunate scenes just before the president was to deliver his address to the nation, where some members of the parliament tried to disrupt his address. Tell us more what the members of parliament within South Africa were actually protesting about inside the legislature.
Yes, the group that you saw protesting there, holding placards saying Cyril Ramaphosa must step down, and those who even tried attempting going to the podium where President Cyril Ramaphosa is sitting, that group are the Economic Freedom Fighters. They are the third largest political party in South Africa. And they've been very vocal from day one, saying that they will not sit down. They are fed up. They've been calling for President Cyril Ramaphosa to step down as the president of the country, saying under Ramaphosa the country is collapsing. And this was not. This was expected. In fact, they had announced, they had held a press briefing saying they will not hear what Ramaphosa has to say until and unless he says there's a substantial, measures taken to stop the load shedding. So that was expected. Actually, annually every year, EFF is the party that does this disruption and everything. So yesterday, what happened in the parliament, or rather in the city hall of where the State of the Nation address took place, it was not something unusual. They were there. They said they will protest. They will not let SONA, that's the State of the Nation address, happen as usual. But they said that Ramaphosa must step down. And in fact, they were security, even the security of parliamentary had to be called in. The police had to be called in to remove those members. Only after that, a delay of 45 minutes from the president's address. Only after that, the speech could go on.
Absolutely indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Kaldedongwu, for joining us from Johannesburg and getting us all those details there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.